And when he started to scream, Darian looked at him like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Like, son, it's okay. It's okay. And Darian grabbed him, picked him up. And I was like, oh, he probably scared of the dogs. And he was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. He's going to have to get out of that because the dogs are in the house. He's going to have to get out of that. I was like, well, let's slowly introduce him to him. Like, okay, just put him down. I'm going to grab Atlas. And like, I'm going to slowly walk Atlas over there so that Atlas can smell him. And that King knows that it's okay. If I got my hand on Atlas' collar, he should be fine. And D was just like, he's going to have to learn how to adjust to dogs. Because our dogs are in the house to D. It's not about him adjusting to dogs right now. We don't know if he's ever seen a dog in real life before, like in person, and especially a dog this big. We don't know that. So let's just see. So D put King down, and I rubbed Atlas, top of the Atlas head, and I was just like, all right, boy, this is King. We're going to walk over there, and I'm going to let you see King, okay? And I'm talking to Atlas like, okay, so this is King. This is going to be your brother. This is your brother, okay? It's your brother. This is your big brother. So I walk Atlas slowly over to King, and King is just like, because he's terrified. So I put my hand on King's shoulder. I was like, it's okay, King. I'm like, it's okay. I had one hand on Atlas' collar, the other hand on King's shoulder. I'm like, King, it's okay. I'm like, this is Atlas. He's just gonna smell you, okay? And King like looking at Atlas, just screaming, and D was like, shut the fuck up, all that damn screaming. I was like, D, just chill. I'm like, this is new. Chill. I'm like, just stop. He was like, don't tell me to chill, Slim. I'm like, look, right now, if you raise your voice and we trying to introduce the dog to King, it could be bad. Because every time you raise your voice, Atlas gets a little timid. And Gaia, she gets cowardly altogether. So we don't need that while we're trying to introduce the dogs to King. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, he's going to scream because he's not used to the dogs. Like, he's not. So King stood there. He was standing there. He did shut up when Darian told him to shut the fuck up. He did shut up. And then like he just like shaking, scared. I'm just like, well, okay, we can do this later. We don't have to do this all at once right now. He knows that the dog is here. The dogs can smell him. We'll go from there. So he was just like, so what the fuck are we supposed to do with the dogs then? I was like, well, for right now, we should probably just put Atlas downstairs in the cage and put Gaia in her cage, because Atlas' cage was in the laundry room. Gaia's cage was in the breezeway downstairs in the basement, like where the back door was, in the breezeway where the back door was. I was like, let's just put them in the cage. And he was just like, we can put Gaia in the cage, but Atlas is not going in the cage. I was like, D, if anything, we should put Atlas in the cage because he big and goofy and be forgetting sometimes that he's not a lap dog. He should go in the cage, and Gaia should be the one to stay out here because she's very gentle. Right? She's gentle. He was like, no, the bitch gonna go in the damn cage and Atlas gonna stay up here. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So I walk Atlas down to the basement, put her in her cage. I come back up and I sit down on the sofa. I told Atlas to go lay on his bed because Atlas, they know their commands. Go lay down. They know to go and lay down on their bed. No issues. I told him lay down on the bed. He went and lay down on his bed. I sat on the sofa. I sat King down on the sofa beside me. And I'm just like, hey, King. I'm just like, I'm Kiana. And he looked at me. He was just like, no, your mom. It's like, okay. I was like, okay, Mom. And I looked at D. I'm just like, Mom? Right now? He's like, your mom. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm Mom. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm like, everybody else calls me Key, but if you want to call me Mom, you can call me Mom. And King's just looking at me. Like, he's not saying that. He's just looking. And I'm just like, all right, you want to go see your room? And he's still just looking at me. And D was like, see, I told you something wrong with him. I was like, T, we're new faces. He was one. He probably don't remember our faces. So I'm like, it's okay. So I stood up, I grabbed his hand. I was like, come on, let's go. I'm gonna take you upstairs so you can see your room. And I was like, Jackson, come follow us. Because Jackson was sitting down there. So I'm like, come follow us. So I hold his hand, I walk him upstairs to the room. I was like, this is gonna be you and Jackson's room. You're gonna have the top bump and Jackson's gonna have the bottom bump. And I was like, Jackson, show him your toys. Like, show him your toys. Get to know him. And Jackson was like, okay. So they stayed upstairs in Jackson's room playing or whatever not. I went back downstairs to talk to D. I was just like, so you didn't see his mom? She was like, no. He was like, no, that bitch wasn't there. I was like, but did you get the paperwork that we need? He was like, I'm looking in the bag. I don't see shit. I was like, you need to send her a message and let her know, like, we need that paperwork. Like, she could send us pictures or an email with his birth certificate and his social, but we're going to need that. Like, we're going to need that just in case something happens. So he get on his phone, send her a message on Facebook telling her, like, hey, I don't see his shot records, his birth certificate, social, none of that in the bag. Like, we need this stuff, and I told you we needed this stuff. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was just in a rush. And she sent us pictures of his birth certificate. And then she sent us his social security number. She didn't send us a picture of his social security card. She just texted out the social security number. And I'm just like, okay, well, D, can you ask her, like, for his shot records or anything? Because, you know, it's the summertime. And, you know, you'll never know. He was just like, okay. And he asked her, like, hey, can we get his shot records and all of that stuff too? And she was just like, oh, I'll see if I can get that to you. I'll have to reach out to his doctor to get that information to you. And I'm just like, all right, okay, cool. All right, that's a start. We got the birth certificate. That's a start. Well, we got a picture of the birth certificate. That's a start. So dude was just like, I want to take him to see Dad. I was like, oh, we should take him to see your dad. And your dad's going to be so excited to see him too. He was like, yeah, because he ain't seen him. So the thing with Darian and his baby mama, Darian told me that his baby mama was a one-night stand. She was a one-night stand, and then she messaged him months later when she was 8 months pregnant saying, hey, I'm pregnant. It's a boy, and it's yours. And it just went from there. He said that he denied the baby at first, but then when she had the baby, she sent him a picture of the baby, and he was just like, well, okay, I guess this is my baby. Never got the baby blood tested. He was just like, well, okay, I guess this is my baby. And then 3 months went by. Like, they were just communicating through Facebook at this time after she had the baby. 3 months went by, and she finally let him see the baby. But he said that she had to be with him to see the baby. Like she wasn't gonna just allow him to come get the baby. So from then, every time that he was able to see the baby, she had to be there. And he was like, she felt like we was in a relationship, because it was just like, oh, you want to see your son, so I'm coming with you. I'm coming with him, and we gonna be there together. And he was just like, well, I told her one time, like, look, you don't have to always come when I pick up my son. And when I said that, she got mad at me. And then she was just like, all right, cool. And she let me see my son by myself. But when she let me see my son by myself, she let me see him for a prolonged, extended amount of time. Meaning, I asked for a weekend. I had him for a month. And like, you know, I'm in school. So it's like, I'm in school trying to play football, trying to do my work, and I got this kid, like this newborn, in my dorm room. So of course I had to call Dad down to help me, and he came down to help. So when Darren was in school, when the baby mama would let him see King and let him have King, he had King for weeks on end, and then the baby mama would come pick King up, and then Darren would get King back for weeks on end. But because it was weeks on end, he needed help. And he got that help from his dad. And of course, the other females that he was messing with at school. This was before me. So that's how that went. So that's what he told me. He said she was a one-night stand. That's how that went. But of course, I did my own personal digging into that when I was in the hospital and I had access to his Facebook. I went through his old messages and I found out that not only she was not a one night stand, she actually thought that she was in a relationship with Darian for a few months. For a few months, she was driving down from South Carolina to Georgia to see him. Like it was every weekend she was there. She thought that they was in a relationship. And then when she was asking him for more time and to meet his family, that's when Darian started to like ghost her a bit. Like he started to be like, nah, I'm good. But they were still having sex. And then when she would question him about the female girls that she seen coming in and out of his dorm room, he would get upset about that. So he stopped talking to her for a couple of weeks. She was reaching out to him, like messaging him, nothing. So she stopped trying to reach out. She did. Darian reached out to her maybe 3 months after she started reaching out to him, but she didn't respond. She didn't respond until February of 2016, when she was 8 months pregnant. That's when she responded. So, and she responded by telling him exactly what he said. Like, look, I'm pregnant. It's a boy. It's yours. It went from that. That was the only truth to that. She thought that they were in a relationship. So that's how the baby mama goes.